thank you, first of all, IT Expert, for giving us this opportunity. So the treasure of book hunters, where knowledge begins and where your search ends. So this is the slogan of our Illinois libraries. Illinois libraries is a of almost 10 libraries. We have 10 branches here, and we are trying to make a unified app using Knack application, and the whole project is presented by myself, Sonal, Neeta, and Robert. So the objective for this Illinois library is, the goal is to create a library management system to unify all the branches of Illinois library using Knack application, which is a cloud-based database application, where users can view, add, search records of the books. They can search member details, employee records, checkout details, and return details. We're also trying to make here extensive report in the form of bar chart, pie chart, and pivot table for better visibility. And we also try to create dashboard which will help users to navigate easily. So this is our high-level context diagram. We found out who will be the user roles and personas will be accessing the Knack application, and they will be using a database. It could be MySQL or Oracle database. And both the users and personas will have separate credential and login access. So they will have a different view. But what we try to do is just the prototype we are showing in front of you. So this is the entity relationship diagram we are showing here. So it is, we have came up with almost seven to six entities: books, checkout, returns, library, and we found out the connections between them that we will show when we show you the live app. And this is the snapshot, how it's going to look. So this is the Illinois library. We have almost right now 310 records in it. And this is just a snapshot how the navigation will look like. Okay. This is also our snapshot of the dashboard. And when we'll show you our live app, you get a better understanding of it. Robert, next. And this is the snapshot of our reports. We can generate, here we try to generate of reports, check out by library, check out by members. Now I'm question answers will keep for towards the end. I'm now handing over to Neeta. She will explain you the dashboard of our live app. Neeta, over to you, please.
Thanks, Sonal. Robert, can we have the app, live app? Okay, here you go. So welcome to our Illinois library dashboard. And over here we have different tabs: library, members, books, employees, checkout, return, reports, and contact us. So under library, you can add a library, you can search for a library. We have like 8-9 branches, so you can do anything what you want over here. That's our table, that's our data for the library, different branches. Under members, you can search for a member or you can add a member. And that's the data for table for our member detail. Book, you can add a book, you can search a book, and then we have table for all the books that these libraries have. Employees, you can add, search, and then we have the employee details. Checkout. Checkout is a little manual. You have the checkout date. You have to manually enter due date, books, library, and the member who has checked out those books. And returns is also manual. We have to enter the return date and due date. And depending on the return date, we have to add the fine amount. That's the only thing we couldn't really put conditions. So we had to do it manually. And then finally, we have reports. We have set up 3 different reports by members. That shows us all the different members, how many books they have checked out in all the 8-9 libraries. Then the checkout report by books. This is a pivot table, and it says which book has been borrowed how many times. And then finally, we have the checkout report by library. So this gives us a snapshot of which library, how many, what's the percentage of books borrowed from each library. And then we have contact information for each library. So you can search for a library and it'll give you the details, address, email, and phone. So I'm going to hand it over to Robert and he will go over the backbone of the application.
So, okay, I'm going to start with the diagram in here. The most important thing for us was to store information about the checkouts, since the libraries are pretty much renting the books, and then we supposed to store the data about who was renting which book, when he was renting, and when the book supposed to be returned. And then in case if the book was not returned on the correct time, we're trying to add the late fee. Since Knack has a couple limitations, we're not able to do it the whole diagram and then design the database in the way how we're planning originally, but it worked pretty good. So we have a couple tables in here, as mentioned before, checkout, and then the checkout has the information about the books which the member was renting. Then, of course, it has information who rented, then the checkout date, when it was checked out. And I'm going to go to a design of the library itself, so maybe it's going to be easier to explain some of the things in here, some challenges and some additional things which we learned while doing this application. So those are our tables, those are our objects in here. The biggest challenge which we had in here was the connection between, for example, checkout and then the member. The problem was that when we were trying to add the records for each specific checkout, our member was showing just the first name. So what we came up with, we created a field, and that field is in here. So this is, oh my God, I'm sorry. So this is the formula field, and we're able to grab two columns, first and the last name. And in this way, we have created a new one joining the first and the last name. So that was the one thing. The other thing, even though we had that column here, we still had in a member just the first name. So we learned that each object in here has something called display field. You can change that field in here, and in this way, you're gonna see which column, which data is being transferred while being connected. So now we have a full name, but you can change that, for example, to an email. And in this situation, in a checkout, you're gonna have an email instead full name. So this is a nice feature, and it helps us to, when we learn, actually, it helps us to make our tables look much better than before. Another thing which we learned in here was ability to do the updates. So that helps, for example, with updating a specific field, specific record, for example, for each employee. If we have a librarian and we decide to update each librarian salary from 3,350 to, for example, 3,500, it's easy to do because you can go to an updates and then add the criteria. So if the department is librarian, next, and then we can change the salary to a specific amount. and then the system will update all of them at once. While working on a Knack, we use like YouTube and then Google to find some information. There is not much, but there is some, so you can find out things. But many of the things which we did in here, we figured out ourselves. And I'm not sure if I did that correctly. I'm sorry. Anyways, so that's it. That's pretty much it.